focus on what you're calling companion for AI living, which will be a personalized sort of way of using artificial intelligence. Does that drive sales?
Of course, right? So this year our exhibition is themed Your Companion to AI Living, right? So, when others are calling this AI home, we really wanted to go a step up and call this AI living. Because with the breadth of products that we have, we are with you in a very unique way and continuous way throughout the day. So by understanding your needs, your behavior, whether it's from your mobile phones or TVs and fridges and washing machines and whatnot, right? We can really personalize the whole AI experience.
Does that translate into new purchases by new customers, or are you trying to increase the lifetime value of your existing customers?
It's a little bit of both, right? If you ask anyone whether AI is important for your products now and for the future, I think you're going to get a very consistent answer that it is important, right? But I think right now you need to future-proof your product more so than ever because of the speed at which AI is developing. I've been in the industry long enough to see how technology has transformed our lives. When we went from analog to digital, to the internet, to the mobile internet, and so forth. Based on what I have witnessed over the years, I think the speed at which we're seeing AI is advancing is nothing like I've seen in the past, right? Because not only the technology itself is evolving fast, but adoption rate is also moving at a very, very fast pace.
When it comes to the evolution of the technology itself, of course, HBM4 chips will be crucial, and we have heard from Samsung CEO Chun Young-hyun talking about how customers think Samsung is back because of this new product. How much does that improve the outlook for every other part of Samsung's business that you oversee, appliances, TVs, smartphones, because that was such a dark cloud hanging over Samsung?
Right. Well, I think in 2026, there's going to be issues around semiconductor supplies, right? And it's going to affect everyone, not just Samsung. I think it's an industry-wide reality that we're going to see some supply issues with semiconductors. Right? So that will certainly have an impact on all the connected devices that we make with the memories and so forth. But I think we're in a better place than most of other constituents in the industry just because of the scale of the business that we run on a global basis.
What will the strategy be if you need to implement those price hikes?
Well, I think, and again, this is going to affect us the same way, right? When memory prices go up, it's going to have an impact on the price of products, right? So I don't think we're immune to those issues.
When are we going to see that transfer?
Prices are going up, even as we speak. So, obviously we don't want to convey that burden to the consumers, but we're going to be at a point where we have to actually consider repricing our products.
And you're saying that this affects everyone in the industry.
Everyone.
What's your competitive edge now, for example, in segments like televisions? Because I know that, for example, Samsung's frame has been very popular, right? You have artwork in the home as TVs. You've seen a wave of clones from other TV makers. This year you have LG, for example. How do you stay ahead?
Well, competition is nothing new to Samsung, right? We've been the #1 TV maker for 20 years running. So, we've had various types of competition over the years. Well, this time around, we're seeing, a lot of cheap TVs coming to the market, right? A 75-inch costs, a 75-inch TV costs far less than what it used to cost, right? But I think we look at the competition in a slightly different way. I think you just mentioned our frame TV, right? It's not just about watching TV, right? It brings another angle to your viewing experience at home, right? You get to enjoy the artwork, right? In addition to watching Netflix and Amazon and whatnot. I think that's really another angle that we've been pursuing. Well, this time around, as our exhibition indicates, your companion to AI living, right? So we're really trying to elevate our competitive landscape from competing in TV space, competing in mobile or home appliances. You know, the combined experience of a Samsung portfolio product, right, really gives you a differentiated experience versus something that is offered by another competitor as a single item or a single category of products.
So as we're seeing now these price hikes come through, not only in Samsung, but also, of course, among other device makers, what's your demand outlook for the year, especially given that companies like Samsung as well have suffered from tariffs last year?
I'm a member of our digital experience division, where we make end products like mobile phones, TVs, and home appliances. You know, these are industries that are expecting to see a modest growth. So, but I think just looking at our outlook of the business, I think we're going to be able to outpace the market.
How will it compare to last year, especially given that it's a challenging base? You saw a lot of people preempting purchases because of the tariffs.
I think we're going to be doing okay. Yeah, I think we're more optimistic about the outlook of 2026 than what we have experienced last year.
In what devices and sectors?
Yes.
In which sectors?
Mobile phones. I mean, I think with the emergence of AI, I think people are looking at upgrading their products, be able to leverage the new technologies that are embedded into our products.
When it comes to the price hikes, how difficult is it for you to market to customers?
I can't say it will not have an impact, but obviously we're trying not to pass that burden to the customers as much as we can.